Welcome, low ego action heroes. This is Debbie Levitt from deltacx. We're a full service CX and UX consulting firm. And welcome to our casual Friday stream. Deb reacts to wacky stuff that you've sent in. If you'd like to see me react to something you send in, it's every Friday, and you can send it to deltacx.link/reaction. Hi, Aitan. We've got 4 things today, and some of them are a little on the long side, so I'll do my best to keep this under a half hour. But let me pull up my screens and let's jump in with the things that you sent. Let's see. Is that the right button? Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. That should be me and not the chat room, and this. I'm sorry, I forgot to prep this to show the chat, but I'll fix that later. So, oh good, I'm live. So this is somebody posting a little PowerPointy thing. The difference between UX and UI according to Maze CEO. And I think this is the Maze that is like a user or usability testing service. So this is a company in our industry who's hoping to win our business, and here's what they think we do. UX design is about understanding the overall journey of your users and turning it into a product, okay? UI design is about using typography, images, and other visual design elements to turn a basic interface into something digestible and usable. I guess I mostly agree there, so let's remember, UX design is understanding the journey and making a product. UI design is the visual elements. Okay, where does he go from here? UX is about the overall user friendliness of a customer journey. Planning, research, information architecture, user flow, wireframe, testing, and analysis. Sure, okay, that's missing some things, but I guess that's an okay summary of what most people working in UX research or UX design or architecture probably do. UI is about the look and feel of the product. Okay, I can agree with that. Design research? What's that? Visual design, sure. Branding and graphic development, interactivity and animation, design systems, responsive design and prototyping? That seems strange. Isn't that what UX does? Wireframing? So are you saying UX makes wireframes, but UI make prototypes? I think we're falling apart. The role of user experience designers to understand the customer journey, understanding target audience, interviewing customers, defining user flows, and conducting user testing. Okay, again, I would not necessarily say that a designer has to be good at research. That's a bit of a hybridized role. There's design and there's research, and not everybody's good at both. So I wouldn't say that a designer has to interview customers. UI designer is about color, typography, and images. I feel like you've said that already, sir. The difference between user interface and user experience is that UI refers to the aesthetics. Okay, I feel like we're just repeating ourselves now. And then, of course, this guy put his own face on it, even though it wasn't his words at all. So, that being that, back to me. Hello, Wilson and Charlene. So I thought that was kind of strange. It was repetitive, and then it was kind of inaccurate, but it had a couple of accurate things. So I think I'll give it 2 dogs out of 5, but in general, it was a bit wacky. So let's take a look at what's next up on my list of things that people have sent in. Okay, I think I've got one. Let me flip back to my screen sharing. Oh no, I forgot to prepare this to see the chat room at the same time. Give me 1 second to set that up. Sorry, everybody. I haven't been feeling well today, and I am just in a little bit of slow motion. How are you all feeling today? Anybody have good weekend plans? All right, how about now? Let's see, flip over. Okay, so we have a post from Darren, which is usually good stuff, but what's going on in this one is not so much what Darren says, it's a screenshot he has of someone else's post. And if we zoom in on that, this is the founder and CEO of Memorizely, which we tore to pieces in the episode that we did going through 20-something boot camps. So this is someone with a horse in the race. This is someone who wants people to go to his school and things like that. Wilson says, reacting to a Darren post. Yeah, the problem is not Darren's post. We're drawing attention to what Darren is talking about. So this is a guy with a horse in the race post saying, hire junior designers to elevate your design team. Okay, I'm for hiring junior designers. I don't know if I would have used the word elevate, but okay. Quote, I'm super grateful to teach junior designers with Memorizely, and I think a lot of companies waste so much energy searching for the perfect senior designer that doesn't exist. For me, junior designers offer so much energy, passion, and perspective to a team. Well, obviously, if this could get 0 dogs out of 5, it absolutely would. It's pretty garbagey. So first of all, it's ageist. It's making it sound like if you have experience or you are a little bit older or you've worked in this industry before, that you probably shouldn't be hired. You might not have much energy. You might have run out of passion, and you just really can't give your team perspective. That's the way I read these things. Whenever I see what they're claiming this group's going to offer and they contrast it with the other group, it's meant to make you feel like, well, this group's not going to offer you that. This group's going to offer you that. So, you know, I think that that's ageist. I also think that he's got a horse in the race. He needs you to hire junior designers because he's out there trying to get you to hire people who've gone through his boot camp. Now, of course, if we go to LinkedIn, okay, I'm logged in another window. Let's see. Can I flip over to that? Okay. Notifications. So let's check out this guy, Xander Whitehurst. Do 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 do. So this is his background, and evidently he's going to teach you UX and UI, I guess. I don't know if anyone's tried that. But anyway, I think we have to be careful of things here that sound like they are against a group. Because remember, the juniors he wants you to hire now are eventually seniors. And when it comes time for him to be pushing more juniors to be hired and not seniors, it's not like, you know, it's so silly. He could absolutely say, for a better balanced team and to elevate your team, make sure you're hiring seniors and juniors. He could absolutely say that. That sets up a future his juniors now will want. When you put it this way, it's like, I'm sorry, you can only pick one, and here's who you should pick, and you don't want these. You're wasting your energy looking for a perfect senior designer, and you know what? They don't even exist. And I would say, well, does that include your juniors? The people who are juniors now getting out of your school, will they not be the perfect senior in 5 years? So this is where I tell people you have to wear your critical thinking hats. And of course, Darren did when he ripped this post to shreds. It's so important to look at what people are saying and realize how many people this has the potential to hurt. And it's so unnecessary. There's no reason why he couldn't just say, balance out your team by bringing in juniors and the seniors who will continue mentoring and helping them. What do you want? No seniors on the team and all of your juniors coming out of your boot camp guessing at how to do UX with no senior support? How's that work? Let's see what's going on in the chat room. Aitan goes, oh my God, this post. I used to follow this guy on Instagram. He was too positive. I stopped following. I didn't trust his UX abilities. Cute words, nothing tangible. Charlene says, shared pics of the beautiful workspace up and down. Would you like some wacky job ads? This post sounds like he hires juniors and fires them once they become senior. Classic example of toxic positivity. I see it more as... he has such a horse in the race for juniors that he's got to make it look like anybody other than juniors is just the wrong choice and you don't want to hire it. But it makes no sense because most juniors tell me, I can't wait to get into a job where I'm going to be overseen and mentored and coached by seniors and leaders who are going to review my work and help me get better. But according to this guy, you shouldn't hire seniors. Wah, wah. All right, next, we've got 2 more. This one popped up on LinkedIn the other day, and I thought it was worth reading and talking about out loud. So this guy says, Seems there's no shortage of senior and above UX designers and researchers complaining about their cross-functional teams and stakeholders limiting or even defining what UX does. Why so many complaints? If you've got a senior, lead, principal, or staff title and an accompanying six-figure salary, stop complaining. You have the power to influence change. More importantly, that's exactly what you are hired to do. Time for senior UX practitioners to step up. So, people in the live room, how many of you have had senior or higher roles and had the power to influence change? How many job descriptions have you seen that are senior and higher or senior lead principal that say you will have the authority to create change? And the most interesting thing about this is, no, I didn't block him, Wilson. I'm just in a private browser. The most interesting thing about this is, we talk so much about empathy and feeling for people and putting ourselves in their shoes and wanting to solve their problems. And I'm so unimpressed by someone who clearly sees multiple people struggling. He's seeing so many designers and researchers having trouble with their teams and their stakeholders that his reaction is to think you're just complaining, and that if you've got a good title and money, he says basically, step up, fix your own problem. And I thought that this was kind of gaslighting. And again, that's, maybe you disagree, but this to me seemed like gaslighting. Why are you complaining? You probably have a big salary and you have a good title. So, just influence change. What's wrong with you? It must be you. So I thought that this was insensitive. I thought it lacked certainly empathy, but certainly sympathy. And I thought it was tone deaf and cold. Shriva says, that's a valid point. As a junior, I look forward to getting a job where I take the theoretical knowledge I learned and then actually apply it and get mentored. Yeah, we've got a long delay today. It's about a minute, so some people are still on the last thing. So I think that this is unfortunate. And yes, Wilson says, coming from a privileged perspective. Yes, I'm an enterprise leader and design director. I'm a champion. So I did think it was rather tone deaf. And my thought was, if you are seeing a pattern of people struggling in their jobs, help them, support them, ask them more about what's going on. If you are such a great leader and director, give them actionable information. Remember, meaningful, actionable, helpful. Can you give these people information that will help them make the change that they want to make? Mr. Leader, Mr. Director? It doesn't make sense. So are you going to act like you know how to do this and you know how to make this change, but I'm not going to tell you. Just step up. It's you. So I think that this is ultimately clickbait, and luckily only 45 people cared about it. So this probably didn't get a huge amount of visibility, but it's definitely tone deaf. And I would say look out for this person in other stuff. He might just be someone to avoid. Next, we have an extremely long email I was sent. So let's take a look at that. And of course, the last thing would have to get 0 dogs out of 5. Someone wanted me to look at a job application design challenge. So let's take a look at that. And it's a bit of a long one, but let's take a look at it together. Product designer is the title. And they're saying it's not work for our company. You're going to pretend that a customer, who I guess is a food company. I don't know what country that is. I'm not familiar with that, if that's a real brand or a made-up brand. Someone has an allergy. Debbie, you have a graph on the front. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I thought I pressed the turn off all of my things. Okay. Thank you, Charlene. Takes a village. Hypothetically, someone had a peanut allergy to the food because they weren't aware of what allergens were in the food, and you are going to solve this problem as part of your design challenge or technical assessment. Task 1, with what you know about the problem space, which of course is nothing because it sounds like they didn't give you anything. Outline and scope how you approach running a research project on this given the scenario. Include the rationale behind your thinking and be specific about any information you'll need from your team and customer. You're going to be making assumptions, so tell us what those are. In the scheme of design challenges, which I'm still against, this seemed fair because you weren't designing anything. It was plan your research. How would you go about learning what's going on with this app and customers who might have food allergies and sensitivities? Seemed fair. Next task, create a clickable prototype of the flow of ordering, displaying allergy information. It's not important if it's complex or creative. It's important that it aligns with your outline. That's where this fell apart for me because according to this, the outline is how you would research this. So how I would research this is not an outline and setup to what my interaction design looks like. The outline for the research is the setup for what I learn, and then the outcomes of the research and the data and the analysis and synthesis guide me in what I might design. So it seems a little bit strange that this task imagines that by outlining research, you're going to then directly tie that to what your design is, but not with any research results. So I thought that was a little bit strange. Now they ask you to pretend that your proposed solution was a good one and tested well. Now you must report your findings to your manager. So your manager can send a task to the dev team to build the feature, and your manager has invited key stakeholders to your presentation. So obviously here they're trying to see how you present and speak to a group and show your work and speak to your work and probably answer questions for your work. I think that's normal. Many of us do that in the form of portfolio walkthroughs or portfolio presentations in jobs. Here they're asking you to present your fake design challenge work, which I think this sounds like a poorly planned thing. Provide an agenda of how you would facilitate this presentation and provide rationale to your thinking. This seemed strange because this is just a meeting where I'm presenting. So what exactly am I facilitating? Do you imagine that me presenting my finalized work, which is about to go to engineering, is a workshop in some way that I have to facilitate? I thought this was just me saying, here's what I ended up with. Now it's going to engineering. And why didn't people see it before? So this seems strange. Task 3A seems strange. And so I don't know what the agenda is. To me, this is a 15-minute meeting, or does it have to be a meeting at all? I mean, we should have fewer meetings. So why am I even holding a meeting? If this is tested and vetted and approved and ready to go to engineering, doesn't sound like I need a meeting. I would tell them this doesn't need a meeting. Write the description of a meeting invitation that will be sent to all. Describe the purpose, agenda, and outcomes. So they want to test that you can write a good Outlook calendar invitation. So all in all, I think this one's mostly unreasonable. I'll give it 1 dog out of 5. I think asking people to come up with a plan for something but not do the research or do the design is just about the fairest design challenge or technical assessment you can get, because that speaks to how they would approach the project strategically without making them do the project. But these other things here just seem very strange. Like, I wish I could get this hiring manager on a call and say, what are you testing for here? Are you really testing that they can write a good Outlook calendar invitation? Would you really hold a meeting where someone is going to present a single feature to multiple stakeholders and facilitate a meeting? So, and then of course the design of it is just your typical design challenge, which is you just have to pretend the app is going to let people order a burger, but it's going to display allergy information. They didn't even need the rest of it. So again, not happy with this kind of stuff. I'm still against design challenges, but so I think, do them at your own risk. They're incredibly strange most of the time. So that is our short reaction stream. Doggo not impressed. Yeah, Romeo's pretty judgmental. Of course, you can send stuff in at deltacx.link/reaction, and I do this every Friday. I try to keep the stream around 20 minutes, and that's where we are now. So if there's any final questions or comments from the audience, write it now, even though we're delayed about a minute. I'll wait for them to come in. But that would really be it for us. Quick program note, Mondays, we had to postpone Monday's show. Monday was going to be Michelle Ronson talking about research, and we've had to postpone that till later in July. So I apologize those who marked their calendars for her show. It's been postponed. Tuesday, of course, will be Office Hours Ask Us Anything with Darren and Dr. Nick. And other good stuff coming in the rest. Hey, Nick and Morgan, good to see you. It's been a while. This is the Friday reaction stream, so people send in wacky stuff ahead of time, and I tell you what I think of it, and then we rate it with dogs. Out of a possible 5 dogs, because these are my dogs. Who has a favorite? So that's it. I will play us out of here, and I hope everybody will have a great weekend. Please be safe. There's new waves and cases going up in some parts of the world, so please, please play it safe. Wear your mask. Stay in if you can. Be well. I'm worried about all of you, and don't forget to comment on this video later to help us in the algorithm and like it. And if you want to join our Slack workspace, it's totally free. deltacx.link/join Slack. So I will catch you all soon, and be well. Customer centricity as business intelligence. Visit deltacx.com to learn why we are